Good afternoon. It's mid-April here in Randolph, Wisconsin, and we're back in the greenhouse to look at the begonias that we started about 3 or 4 weeks ago and to see what we're going to do from here forward. Remember, we put the begonias in peat moss about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and some of them we couldn't determine the tops, so we put them on its side, and so they're starting to come up. And so we're going to see what we're going to do with them now that they're up and growing. So we'll handle this big one first. You just find where the bulb is, and you kind of loosen the peat moss up because you want to not disturb the other bulbs. And so you can see that the roots have started to come out and the plant is ready to go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put it into a 6-inch pot. So we just take and put the soil around the bulb about the same depth that it was in the flat, and you put the soil around it and you set it like this. Remember, begonias should be planted. They are one-sided. The flowers will be appearing on one side of the plant. So what we want to do, because begonias grow quite large, and especially with the newer hybrids, they have much bigger flowers, and so they're going to be heavy on top. And so we want to put a stake in right away so that we're not disturbing it too much when we put it into the ground. So find out where the bulb ends and you put the stake in. Remember, when you're staking, as this grows, we'll be staking it. You want to use a type of a stake and the type of a tie that doesn't retain water, because if you retain water around the stem, it's very succulent and it will rot the stem off. So put a stake in next to the pot. Now the begonia will grow the roots around that stake, but when it gets high enough, you can tie it to the stake and it will be ready to go. We'll continue potting the rest of these up. You can see some of them have started better than others, but they're all going to be transplanted today because we want to get them into the pot so they'll be ready to plant out in another month when the danger of frost is gone in the middle to the end of May. Okay, now that we have the first one planted, we have a bulb here that has 2 very nice sprouts on it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make 2 plants out of it, because it's early enough that they'll have a chance to grow. So we just take a knife and put it right down the middle of the bulb between the 2 so that you've got roots on both sides. Now we have 2 bulbs to plant. So we're going to put that in a pot. We're going to just put the soil around it, just like we did with the first one. And now, instead of having 2 very nice plants, we're going to have 3. The smaller one I'm going to put in a little smaller pot so that we have room in the greenhouse for all these begonias that I'm going to be transplanting. But so there, this bulb and this bulb were 1 bulb, and now we have 2 plants. And then what we'll do is we'll just take and water them a little bit so that the soil around them packs and the air pockets disappear. I'm going to put a stake next to this one. A stake next to this one. We've got 3 plants there. We're going to continue planting these. If you have any questions on begonias or any other bulbs that you want to start, just put them in the comments and we'll try to answer them for you. We'll be back with you on a begonia video in about 3 or 4 weeks when we're going to be planting them outside. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, and until we see you in a few weeks, this is Dick Zonde, the Garden Doctor.